Hello, TrendWatching Premium clients. How are you? My name's David Mattin. I'm Global Head of Trends and Insights here at TrendWatching, speaking to you from London, where it's hot. Got a heat wave on our hands. But I have my iced tea, I have my handheld fan, and I am ready to speak to you about the future of customer experience in travel and tourism. So strap in, let's go. Why are we doing this? You know full well that a couple of weeks ago, we launched the second of our TrendWatching quarterly deep dives into a big topic around the future of consumerism and business. And this topic is the future of customer experience. If you haven't already, and I'm sure lots of you have, you can dive in to the premium service, read the big report about the future of customer experience. You guys got it early, of course. And of course, there's special premium only content that only you can see, like the 16 industry specific reports that give our take on the future of customer experience for your industry. We'll be adding more regional content in the weeks ahead, so keep checking it, even if you've had a good read so far. The future of customer experience is what we're all about. And today, of course, the future of customer experience when it comes to travel and tourism. So where does this start? I mean, we're halfway through 2017, if you can believe it. As usual, we've seen an avalanche of interesting new products, new services, new campaigns. This is Wheelies, the Swedish company that invented the little vans that can turn you into your own coffee shop. They recently launched a totally staffless store in Shanghai. You open the doors with your smartphone, you scan the products and pay with your smartphone, you're watched by little video cameras to make sure you don't steal anything. The totally staff-free store is upon us. In Singapore recently, we saw a supercar vending machine. Okay, go to this vending machine and buy, or at least test, the supercar of your choice. Pretty amazing. When it comes to travel, of course, a lot of the talk right now is about super long haul, ultra long haul, low cost long haul. That's the thing that we're all thinking about. And on the horizon, the near horizon, if Jeff Bezos is to be believed, space tourism. So this is Bezos's Blue Origin. They're still planning to launch commercial orbital space flights in 2018. Okay, so tourism is about to leave this planet, quite literally. Not totally leave it, but leave the atmosphere anyway. As usual, there's this avalanche of new products, new services, new campaigns. You guys know TrendWatching. You know that that's what we're all about. We relentlessly watch innovations and interrogate them for the new customer expectations they create. How are these innovations changing what your customers will expect of you? That's the question we're obsessed with answering on your behalf. And just over the last few months in particular, we've just seen a whole ton of innovations that really were, we felt, rewiring expectations around customer experience, around the nature and the quality and the kinds of experiences that customers expect. And that's why we wanted to dedicate the second installment of TrendWatching Quarterly to the future of customer experience. And no surprise, a lot of you out there, a lot of business leaders out there in the world agree that customer experience is a very big deal. I don't think this statistic would surprise anyone. 86% of business leaders agree the customer experience is vital for success. So let's think about customer experience in a tiny bit more detail. When it comes to experiences, let's start with this fundamental truth. When it comes to experiences, attention is the basic unit of currency. Attention is what consumers use to pay for the experiences they have. It's been said, and I think we can agree it's true, that human attention pretty much now is the most valuable commodity on the planet. Certainly some of the most spectacular businesses of the last decade or so have been about capturing, triaging, selling to brands, selling to a lot of you guys in many cases, human attention. Okay, if you think about Facebook, if you think about Google, if you think about Snapchat, they are engines for capturing human attention, and that has propelled them to stratospheric valuations and stratospheric influence when it comes to the world of business. So human attention is a profoundly valuable thing, and in a world of just endless choice, endless acceleration of experience quality, it's no surprise that consumers are ever more precious about how they spend their attention, ever more reluctant really to dedicate much of that attention currency to any particular thing, because something brilliant, something else, something amazing is always around the corner. Now, when you look at the world of business through this lens of human attention and customer experiences through this lens of human attention, it brings you to this fundamental question. As a brand, as a business, at any particular moment, you need to decide which side of a profound divide you are standing on. Are you helping consumers save their attention for the spectacular experience that they want to get? Or are you the spectacular experience that they want to spend their attention on? Another way of saying this, a pithy way, we hope, of saying this, is you have to be relentlessly asking yourself all the time when it comes to the experiences you are delivering your customers. Are you saving attention or are you seizing it? Okay? In other words, are you liberating attention? Are you freeing consumers from the need to pay attention so they can save their attention up? Or are you seizing their attention with an amazing experience that is profound, that is exciting, that is amazing enough for them to want to spend their attention on it? Of course, the answer for any brand, for any business, however simple it is going to be different at different moments in the customer journey. Okay, we're never going to find a business that is entirely about saving attention, really, or entirely about seizing attention, or very few of them. For almost all of you out there, it will be a mixture. Okay, but the crucial thing is, at every moment in your customer journey, you need to know which of the two you're doing. Are you helping the consumer save attention, or are you seizing their attention? If you're in somewhere stuck in the middle, if you're in this vague kind of boggy middle ground where you don't really know the answer to that question, that is death, okay? Because consumers are so concerned now about their attention that they simply will not tolerate that. And of course, all of these questions, all of these issues around experiences, the quality of them, around attention and saving it or seizing my attention, are hugely acute, are hugely heightened when it comes to travel. So this is a deeply interesting industry to look at through this lens of attention saving and attention seizing. Now let's have a look first at attention saving. And let's look at that in relation to the travel industry and just see how that's playing out. And I hope I can give you some ideas about the directions that consumer expectations are evolving in when it comes to attention saving, helping them save their attention when it comes to the travel and tourism industry. First of all, why in particular when it comes to travel is attention saving such a big deal right now, and how is attention saving evolving? One of the big reasons that attention saving, that liberating the consumer from the need to pay attention is such a big deal, is the status of being busy. We've seen this huge shift the last few decades, really, from a model of status that was about leisure, as in the more status I have, the more leisure time I have, to a model of status that's much more about being busy. Okay, nowadays, the more status I have, the busier I'm expected to be, and the harder working almost I'm expected to be, because that's proof that I'm a valuable contributor to the economy, to the human culture, to the global brain, and so on. So the status of being busy is a huge deal these days. And what do you have when you're, what's one of your needs when you're extremely busy and when your status is deeply tied up with being busy and being in demand in that way? You have a need for services that save your attention, that save you time, that just get stuff done. Here's a quick statistic around that profound shift we talked about. You know, these days, the higher status you have, in this case, the more educated you are, the longer actually you tend to work, the busier you tend to be. One of the other big drivers here of expectations when it comes to attention saving is just the informational landscape that we're in now, which really is one of information as oxygen, just limitless access, instant access, constantly to information. If you think about the smartphone, of course, which is the big driver here, Google Home, Alexa, voice, you know, consumers now are just surrounded by this atmosphere of information, relentlessly serving their informational needs. And when it comes to travel and the discovery and the research and the planning phase of the travel experience, which I know is a massive deal to lots of you and is a huge deal when it comes to the way the industry is evolving. That informational landscape has profoundly changed expectations and profoundly changed behaviors around travel planning, travel research, and that has huge implications. And we're going to look at some examples in a minute that show where expectations are heading to when it comes to attention saving in that domain. So making those tasks quicker, easier, more seamless than ever. Another big driver I want to touch on-demand expectations. Okay, the on-demand economy is not news to any of you. We all know Uber, we've all used Uber. That expectation of instant one-touch smartphone fueled service has spread across industries, across markets. It's wired a new behavior and a new expectation across hundreds of millions of consumers. And they're bringing that expectation to all kinds of experiences, including their travel experiences. You know, just on demand, make it happen for me now, get it done now. And that has huge implications too when we start to think about how we can save attention for the consumer, how we can get stuff done quicker, easier, so they don't need to attend to it themselves. It just gets done. The final big driver here that I wanted to touch on for you guys for the travel and tourism industry, and I touched on this really earlier too, is we know that travel time is sacred. Travel time is fetishized time. Consumers are obsessed with getting the most out of their travel time and all the expectations they have as consumers when it comes to saving around seamlessness, convenience, speed, efficiency, and when it comes to seizing around quality and intensity and the amazing nature of the experience. All those expectations when it comes to travel are hugely heightened because travel time is so precious. Travel time is so rare. Consumers are obsessed with getting the most out of it. So you guys are in an ultra demanding industry. You don't need me to tell you that. When it goes wrong, as it did for British Airways recently, someone pulled the plug out of their computer, the computer melted, thousands of people are stuck. Rage is the result. Okay, deep rage is the result because you have ruined my travel time. So that's a big driver here when it comes to attention saving. Just get it done, make it efficient, make it seamless. Let me save my attention for the thing I really want to spend it on. Okay, so I just want to look at some examples of how that's playing out. Just a fun one to start with because we're talking about the travel industry. Of course, you know, one of the easiest ways to save attention for consumers when it comes to travel is just to get them there fast and get them there very efficiently. So I couldn't help but notice, especially when we're talking about ultra long haul, that the Qatar Airways, the Doha to Auckland route, which they say is the world's longest non-stop commercial flight, landed recently. The first one landed recently. It's a 14,500 kilometer trip, 16 hours. It costs about £1,000 for an economy class ticket. So ultra long haul really is in the domain of attention saving. Just get me there, make it seamless, make it convenient, make sure I don't have to change flights and go through all that hassle. You know, that's a clear, very simple example of attention saving for the consumer. But how else is attention saving playing out when it comes to the travel industry? This is Lufthansa and Airbnb. You know, let's think first about the research, the planning, the pre-travel phase. This is, you know, this is in the space of booking. This is Lufthansa partnering with Airbnb to sell Lufthansa flight tickets through the Airbnb platform. You know, so just a tiny change, a useful partnership that makes your job as a person planning their travel that bit easier. You know, you're looking on Airbnb for where you're going to stay. You don't have to leave that platform to book your flight. So again, a very straightforward example of attention saving for the consumer, just allowing them to save their attention for the things they really want to attend to, which, let's face it, is not really booking your flight. Also in the space of discovery, you can think about innovative new ways, innovative new channels to help consumers plan and research their travel and their itineraries. So this is British Airways launching something in December 2016 called the Emoji Bot. It's a chat bot that consumers converse with using emoji. You The bot will ask them some questions, they answer via emoji, and based on those answers, they're served personalized travel itineraries or personalized travel recommendations, really, from British Airways. So just a fun, playful way of making the research process, the travel planning process, a bit more personalized, a bit more seamless, a bit more convenient. How can you think about new channels, innovative new, smartphone chatbot fueled ways of making the research and planning process that bit more seamless for consumers? How about artificial intelligence fueled travel planning and research? This is CON-A, stands for Context Recognition AI. This is a platform that will use artificial intelligence to develop personalized travel itineraries for the user. So it asks you some questions, it learns some things about you, then using AI, it can go off into the web and draw out, extract personalized travel recommendations for you, the user. So again, just about, in this case, using the power of AI to make the travel planning and research process that bit more seamless, that bit easier for consumers. What about travel logistics? What about the world of logistics and hassle sometimes that we have to go through as travelers? This is a very interesting example that's sort of maybe more in the kind of prototype phase now than really on the shop floor phase, but still deeply interesting, and I wanted to put it in front of you. This is SITA Lab. They recently debuted an autonomous check-in robot that can move itself around airports. Okay, so this is a very clever robot that can move itself around the airport environment without bumping into people, without bumping into things. It senses where there's long queues, it senses where it's needed, and it can go to those queues and check travelers in. So it will, scan their luggage, print out boarding passes, all of that. So this is about, automating the process to a certain extent, or automating away the check-in queue. And if you're a regular flyer, that has to sound good to you. So again, just a great example of attention saving, making a necessary task just that bit quicker, that bit easier, that bit more seamless, so consumers can save their attention for what they really want to spend their attention on. Also in the space of logistics, this is Ekbo Cloak. This is an interesting, ingenious platform that matches people with luggage that they want to store for the day, with shops and cafes and other spaces that have some space where they're happy to store the luggage for a fee. So for example, if you're staying in Airbnb and there's no hotel luggage room, you're flying out that day, you don't want to lug your bag, your suitcase around with you all day, you can use this platform to find a nearby shop or cafe with a little space in. They'll hold your suitcase for the day for a small fee. Again, just about making a tiny logistics element when it comes to travel, that painful last day of your trip where you have your suitcase and you don't really want to know what to do with it. Just about making that logistics process that bit easier, more seamless for consumers. Okay, we talked about the on-demand mindset driver at the beginning of this webinar. Here's a great example that's tapping into that. This is the huge US-based cruise company, Carnival, announcing plans to give a smart wristband to passengers on board its cruises. So this is a wristband that will allow consumers to unlock their room, to pay for food, to play games. You can actually receive the device in advance of your travel as well, and it can help you plan your travel. So a little device that's tapping into that deep emerging expectation, or quite well established expectation now really, of on-demand, just give me just one touch service, let me have a device out of my pocket, on my wrist in this case, one touch and things get done. I can order food, I can talk to others. Tapping in deeply to that on-demand mindset, and again, just making some of the logistics and some of the processes around travel easier, more seamless, more convenient for consumers. And last, I just wanted to show you this. This is Westin Hotels offering live stream spinning classes in the rooms, in the hotel rooms of their guests. Okay, so you want to exercise, you want to go to a spinning class, you don't have to leave your room, you don't have to go to the gym or down to the hotel gym. You can get a live stream class in your room. So how about thinking about hotel rooms as, you know, service hubs where lots of multiple services can be delivered? You know, again, an interesting angle on just saving some of the attention resources of consumers. They don't have to find out where the gym is. They don't have to book in and figure out the times. It can be live streamed direct to their room. So just a tiny glimpse there of attention saving when it comes to the travel and tourism industry. You can dive into the database, check out the examples I've shown you. Just a really profoundly useful thing I hope to do would simply be to go to the database, filter for the travel industry, and skim through the examples with an attention saving mindset yourself, looking at those examples through the lens of attention saving, seeing some of those examples pop out at you and interrogating them and thinking, how does this example change expectations when it comes to attention saving in the travel industry? How can I serve some of those expectations myself? Ephemeral and helpful are two deeply relevant mega trends here, because ephemeral is all about consumer use of time, helpful is all about service and convenience. Brand butlers, capacity capture, and time saviors are some of the trends we dealt with when we talked about those examples. So you guys, of course, will have this deck. You have the premium service. You can dive into those trends more deeply yourself, and that's a great starting point for some deeper thought about attention saving when it comes to the travel industry. Okay, let's talk a tiny bit about attention seizing. The other side of this big divide, the other side of the coin of attention saving and attention seizing that we're talking about. Because when it comes to attention seizing, these are the experiences that consumers have saved their attention for. These are the amazing experiences that they want to spend their attention on. And of course, the travel industry, in the end, is in some respects, all about delivering those experiences, delivering amazing experiences that consumers deeply value and massively want to spend their attention on. And we know that that is becoming harder than ever, because expectations around the quality and the nature and the choice of experiences are cycling higher than ever. So let's have a deeper look at attention seizing through the lens of the travel industry. Like I said, the experience of economy that we exist in now is extreme, it's relentless. The quality and the nature and the choice of the experiences that your industry is delivering to travelers has never been higher. This is the Kakslautainen, I hope I'm saying that right, igloo Arctic resort in Finland, where you can watch the Northern Lights. And of course, the experience economy, this relentless quest for rare, amazing, incredible experiences, is being massively fueled and intensified by social media, which has turned every experience into this shareable currency that we can use online to accrue status, right, to impress friends and impress strangers. You know, feeding the Instagram beast has become a massive part of travel and travel experiences for millions of people around the world. This is the Troll's Tongue in Norway. It's one of the most popular Instagram shot locations on planet Earth. You can see these people here enjoying their Instagram moment. Here's a look at what it really looks like when you draw the camera back. It's not the secluded spot that the millions of Instagram shots would suggest. There's actually a queue to get your Instagram shot at the Troll's Tongue, and that's the relentlessness and intensity of the experience arms race that social media has created. And now live streaming is coming along too, to further accelerate all of that. So it's not just about what have you done, what have you posted on Instagram, on Snapchat, on Facebook, whatever. It's what are you doing right now? You know, if you're on social media, if you're across Twitter and Facebook, I'm finding that ever more of my social media platforms are full with people live streaming me stuff about the amazing things, not that they've done, but they're actually doing at this moment. That's the fever pitch that the experience economy is reaching, thanks to live streaming. And then new technologies are coming down the pipeline and maturing that are profoundly disrupting expectations around the nature of experiences, the accessibility of experiences, and just what experiences are fundamentally, and what they're about and what they're for. And we're going to look at some of that in a minute. So you guys are in the experience industry. Travel is about delivering the most incredible experiences across on this earth to, you know, paying customers. I just want to give you some new angles, some new lenses through which you can look at those experiences, through which you can look at the question of seizing the attention of consumers. The first one I want to look at really quickly is partnerships. How could you partner with someone unexpected to do something new? So this is the Four Seasons Hotel in Milan partnering with Nike to offer all their guests their own Nike personal trainer. So you can book the Nike personal trainer. They will help develop a sort of running itinerary around the city of Milan with you. You go on the run, you end back in the hotel gym. A great example of a pretty unique, personalized experience that consumers want to spend their attention on. These are the kinds of experiences they have been saving their attention for. Partnerships can help you cultivate some of those kinds of experiences. Similarly, on this subject of partnership, this is Uber Eats partnering with Volvo to launch the All-Star Restaurant. It's a service serving gourmet meals as you travel in a car around Tokyo. So you get a kind of multi-course menu with luxury dishes that have been curated by, you know, big name chefs. Again, the type of rare, surprising, very Instagrammable experience that consumers have saved their attention for. These are the kinds of experiences that they want to spend that attention currency on. And partnerships are a really interesting tactic when it comes to thinking about how you can develop new, surprising experiences of that nature, how you can go outside your traditional boundaries of expertise and deliver something new to consumers. Of course, campaigns, fun, playful campaigns are always going to be part of this picture. Just really quickly, this is the Mexican Tourism Board. They did something pretty amazing recently in Berlin. They created a cloud that rains tequila. Okay, this is actually an exhibition at a Berlin art gallery called Urban Spree. They used ultrasonic humidifiers to vibrate tequila at a frequency where it turned into a visible mist. Well, I never. And then it rained tequila into the glasses that were held out. Of course, this is fun, this is playful, but this is the kind of rare, surprising experience that consumers hope to have on their travels, that they want to share online, that they want to accrue experience from having done. You can there always will be and always has been scope to think about fun campaigns that deliver those kinds of experiences. Another massive angle here that we could talk about, an entire presentation of its own, is post-demographics. You guys know that we're huge on the idea of post-demographic consumerism, the idea that the old demographic model of understanding consumer behavior is breaking down, that this model that said, tell me how old you are and your gender and where you live and your income bracket, and I'll be able to predict what you like and how you think and how you want to consume, that model is breaking down. And we now have to think about a much more complex world when it comes to the expectations of consumers versus their demographics. This is just one tiny taste of that. This is Uniworld, the UK-based luxury cruise company, launching a river cruises for millennials. So just doing something for an unexpected demographic. This is cruises around the Seine, the Rhine, the Danube, stopping in Paris, Amsterdam, Budapest, and so on. Cruises and millennials are not two things we typically put together, but Uniworld clearly, at least intuitively, if they haven't read about it from us, understand the post-demographic world. They understand that this model of demographic regimentation that we've been stuck in for a while now is breaking down, and we need to think outside it. So how can you do that? How can you think about unusual, new, unexpected, surprising demographics for your service, for your product, for the experiences that you make? Or how can you make new experiences, surprising experiences for the demographic you serve? You know, whether that's older people, younger people, families, music lovers, you know, whoever it is, think inventively, think outside the demographic box, so to speak. I mentioned new technologies as a big driver here. New technologies are totally transforming people's expectations around the kinds of experiences they should have access to, and the role that experiences can play or certainly that digital experiences can play in their lives. I just want to start with a more straightforward example first. This is Expedia using virtual reality to let customers explore hotel rooms online. So this is an interesting example because it almost traverses that boundary between attention saving and attention seizing, because of course this is about information gathering. This is about research and planning, but at the same time it's making that easy and convenient, but at the same time it's delivering a unique, new, surprising experience that will seize the attention of many consumers. So you can think about new kinds of VR fueled and AR potentially fueled experiences that seize the attention, but also are functional, that help consumers do research, do planning, do their due diligence before they travel. These new technologies, particularly virtual reality, open up a whole world of possibilities when it comes to all of that. But, and this is a big but, we've talked this year a lot about this profound shift towards the virtual experience economy. This is about VR and AR experiences that become a status currency in their own right, because these digital experiences are becoming as real to consumers as the experiences they have in the real world. Just like those experiences in the real world, they are becoming a status currency in their own right. And that's opening up entire new worlds, entire new galaxies of experiences that you can put in front of consumers that will seize their experience, their attention when they're traveling. Excuse me, this is The Void. It's a slightly older example, but it's a great one for making the point that I wanted to make to you, which is how could you create amazing digital VR, AR experiences that are a status currency in their own right, that consumers want to come back from their travels and say, hey, look, you know, I've done this and you haven't done it. This was the VR Ghostbusters experience around the recent Ghostbusters movie. It was located in New York's Times Square. So once upon a time, you went to Times Square and you saw the buildings and you did the traditional things. Now you can go to Times Square, and one of the unique experiences you might have is a digital experience, in this case, a VR experience. That is a profound shift. And it is massively powerful for you guys to start to think about how can we create VR and AR experiences, AR, because we all remember Pokemon Go recently, that become a status currency in their own right, that are the sorts of things you want to send a postcard home about. Massively powerful terrain. Attention seizing and status and experiences are all tightly bundled together. And one particular angle on status I wanted to look at is the status of self-improvement. We know we're in this model of status now that's much more about who I am as a person than what I have. That's sending consumers on this relentless quest for self-improvement. How can you create examples that, innovations that fuel that relentless quest for self-improvement? If you can do that, then you'll be creating experiences that really seize the attention. This is Abercrombie & Kent, the tour company. They recently created a very interesting tour. It's a tour of the world led by reporters from the New York Times. Okay, so these are experts in their particular domains, experts in their particular nations or aspects of culture that lead you on a global tour across a range of destinations, telling you about each place, obviously, as you go. So, obviously, an amazing experience in terms of access to expertise that you don't usually have access to, you know, incredibly personalized, and all about self-enrichment, all about knowledge and self-improvement. So self-improvement is a profoundly valuable angle, valuable lens to look through when you're thinking about how to create attention-seizing examples, innovations, experiences for consumers. And last, of course, think creativity, the status that comes along with having created. This is Luxury Travel Advisors. They recently created a tour that's all about travelers making their own travel documentaries. So yes, you go to learn, but primarily you also go to create a product of your own, to create a travel documentary of your own. We know that consumers now have a creation mindset. You know, we're all online creating endlessly. They're bringing that mindset to their search for new experiences. And this is an example that's tapping into that deep emerging expectation that I should be a creator, that I should create content of my own. So, you know, if you thought your uncle's 150 photographs of his nature tour when he got home from that were boring, wait till your uncle comes home with his own 2.5-hour nature documentary that you have to sit through. Okay, as I said at the beginning, you guys are in the attention-seizing business. You guys are all about delivering some of the world's most amazing experiences to your customers. I hope I've given you some interesting new angles to look, or lenses to look through, when you think about attention-seizing experiences. You know, think about new technologies and the rise of the virtual experience economy. Think about post-demographics. Think about the relentless quest for self-improvement and how that's bound up with status, and how that in turn is bound up with this creativity mindset, the idea that I should create. Any of those lenses give you a very powerful take on how in 2017, 2018 and beyond to reimagine attention-seizing experiences for the global traveler. And I hope I've given you some useful fuel for thought there. Status seekers is, of course, a massively powerful megatrend here, because it's all about this endless quest for status and self-improvement. Placehumers, because it's all about experiences and fun. And post-demographics, as I say, a profoundly useful one here when it comes to thinking about how can I step outside of those demographic boundaries that have constrained my thinking for too long and deliver some new, surprising post-demographic experiences to my travelers. Just a word to finish on. You know, we said very close to the beginning, no brand is always going to be, or very few brands really, are always going to be an attention saver all the time or an attention seizer all the time. The crucial thing is to dissect your customer journey, dissect every touch point through a customer engagement with you from beginning to end, and ask yourself at that touch point, are we saving the attention or are we seizing the attention? Are we ruthlessly about efficiency and convenience and just getting it done and making it happen? Or are we ruthlessly about the most amazing, intense, attention demanding experience that we can be? It is in the middle ground where problems arise. Okay, if you are in that murky middle ground where it's not amazing and it's not just done and super convenient and attention saving, then you're in trouble, because attention is such a valuable commodity, the most valuable commodity, the most valuable currency really that consumers ever get to spend now. Okay, it's been super fun talking to you guys. I hope that's given you some useful fuel for thought, food for thought. Any questions, you can always get me, as you well know, david@trendwatching.com, and I'll be happy to discuss further with you attention seizing and attention saving when it comes to travel and tourism. But for now, that's enough from me. Thank you for listening. Good luck, and I look forward to hearing from you.